screwed on. Hello, this is Greg Allison, Green Greg's, coming to you here live with a special guest tonight, guys. We are in a heap of trouble right now with all this dioxin contamination. It's been said now that this train derailment in Ohio has created the greatest dioxin plume in world history. And dioxin is extremely deadly. Just 130 seconds. You hear live with a special guest tonight, guys. You need to mute that. Yes, I got to mute his side. Okay, guys, this stuff is extremely deadly, and we got people moving back in. So let me show y'all some perspective before I bring my guest in. I'm going to show y'all some screens. I'm going to share a screen, and bing, bing, bing. Look at this, guys. This is the train derailment situation there in Ohio. East Palestine, Ohio. Actually, I'm not sure that's the same one, but anyway, guys, that's what it's reported to be. Now, you get this, guys. They're telling us that this is much worse than is being reported. And of course, this article says there were 14 cars carrying vinyl cord. I thought it was 5, but there are definitely tens of millions of people at risk of this. And what I want you to see is this. It's a hormonal toxin. There's a lot of stuff in here. I don't want to read some else article. This is the main thing I want to show you guys. Chemical warning. Being exposed to just 1/32 millionth of a gram. Now get this, there's 28 1/3 grams in an ounce. I mean, a gram is feather light to us. It's lighter than a feather. So when you say 1/32 millionth of a gram of dioxins is your maximum lifetime allowable exposure. Lifetime. Holy guacamole, guys. This is serious. It is really bad, and they're underplaying it. How come our president didn't go to Ohio instead of overseas with all the stuff, guys? This is horrible. It is extremely bad. So, yeah, it's a hormonal toxin, builds up in the food chain. It's one of these, like almost a forever chemical, like Agent Orange. And there was other bad stuff that came out of that too, including phosgene gas, which was a nerve agent used in World War I. And I believe it was a nerve agent. And also they had, what was it? Hydrogen chloride. Yeah, hydrogen chloride came out of this too. But the dioxin is really scary, guys. Now, if you think this can't happen to you, look, this is going way up in the Northeast. It's penetrating and infecting probably tens of millions of people. But let me show what's going on around the country. Now, aside from we're seeming to have 1 or 2 or 3 in major industrial accidents every single swinging day right now, for some strange coincidence, look at this, guys. There actually could be coincidental accidents. And there are, this is a real situation here, guys. This is a bridge, a train bridge, 100 miles from me, which is way too close. Given this kind of a thing, hundreds of miles. These planes can travel hundreds of miles, guys. This is a train bridge in Rome, Georgia. And it is carrying tanker cars. I don't know what's in these cars. Maybe somebody knows these numbers. I see weights there, but in kilograms and pounds. Okay, what's inside these cars? ADMX 3 something. They're definitely tanker cars. It can't be good. This bridge is dilapidated. Not only is the metal looking rusty, but look at the concrete. This is where it's bolted in. It's not the bolt for this segment of rail right here, the segment of the bridge. That whole segment is supported by this one piece here, and it's at least halfway gone. And the rest of it don't look too good. This whole thing is looking seriously bad, and these trains are allowed to roll like it's, oh, you shouldn't have to worry. They got a little chain around it. Yeah, okay, never mind. They got it taken care of. That little bitty chain is going to keep this whole thing from breaking apart with these ginormous trains running across it. Yeah, a little chain to hold a train. Yeah, since when? Holy guac and smoke them on. I can't believe this, guys, but this is all over the country. So even if all these things are happening, they're somewhat other than random, coincidental, which is beginning to stretch my imagination quite a bit, considering we're having something huge every swinging day now. This is, yeah, there are some things that are just going to happen. We're on the precipice of bad stuff here, and we got to get ready for it. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about it. So I'm going to stop this share for a minute, and I'm going to hear what we're going to go into. Or Doug, you can just talk. Let me stop the share for just a second. Let y'all say hi to Doug. Hi, Doug. Talk to us.
Hey, Greg, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Now, most people have heard about this story already in East Palestine, Ohio. but what they're not aware of is the severity of the situation and how big of a threat is actually posed by dioxin. Now, dioxins destroy your DNA's ability to replicate. They can cause all kinds of different genetic disorders. They suppress your immune system. They're responsible for wasting disease, reproductive issues, and a massive increase in cancer rates. Now, there really are only a few methods to treat your body if you've been exposed to this, to treat your water, to treat your food, and to treat your soil. And we're going to go over briefly some of these concepts that really the prepper should have in their toolkit in order to respond to an event like this if it happens in your backyard. So we're going to go over these topics. I have created a single-page PDF with source links in the document for you so that you can do more reading on your own. You don't have to just take my word for it. Okay, I'm not a chemist. I'm not an expert. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a guy that likes to read. I'm an investigative journalist, and I have a particular interest in this topic specifically. I've been interested in this topic for well over 4.5 years. I've been trying to blow the whistle on this for a very long time, and I've been trying to raise awareness, and I've been trying to really help people to prepare for these types of events. I am a prepper at heart, so that is why I have taken interest in this specific topic. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll start with personal treatment methods. Now, really, before we get into this, I want you to understand dioxins are hydrophobic. Okay, so they don't really they're not soluble very well in water. Okay, but they are soluble in things like ethanol and oils, like vegetable oils, primarily olive oil and sunflower oil. So keep those things at the forefront of your mind when dealing with these substances. Okay, you can use that to your advantage, just knowing that specific point right there. Okay, so let's get into personal treatment first. All right, really, there are two specific personal treatments that everybody needs to be made aware of. The first one is chlorella. Now, chlorella has chlorophyll in it, and this has been shown to reduce the absorption of dioxins in the intestines and to help your body excrete dioxins. So it reduces absorption and it accelerates excretion. Okay. A sec, Greg, are you calling me? I think you were calling me there, Greg. Let me see. Hold on. Are you still on here, Greg? I think we lost Greg, or did you lose me? One second here, guys. It says I'm live, but
Are you still live?
it says I'm live, Greg. Did you
Keep going. I seen you on my other computer, but my main broadcast died. Shut down. I got to reboot.
Okay, Greg. All right, Greg. I'll keep going live and wait for you to get back up.
I'll see if I can get back into the same link. Okay. Bye.
All right, bye. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to continue with personal treatment methods. All right. We talked about chlorella. All right. Now we're going to talk about xanthohumol. Now, xanthohumol is a chemical that's found in hops. Okay. It has been shown to reverse DNA damage that is associated with dioxin exposure. Now, if you, when Greg gets back on here, he'll send you a link in the chat box of a document that I created with all the source material regarding this information. So you can look at this stuff on your own. Now, Mike Adams put out an email a few days ago regarding broccoli sprouts and a specific chemical called indole 3-carbinol. He's claiming that this substance can also protect your body from the toxic effects associated with dioxin. I was not able to find any source material on this, but I would take him at his word for this. It's something that's very simple, something that's very cheap that you can purchase on your own, and learning how to sprout broccoli is a good skill to have just in general. And indole 3 carbinol is definitely something that's good for you. So I can't validate his claim there, but I'm sure he's probably right about that. Now we'll briefly touch on water treatment methods here. Now, as far as water treatment is concerned, really your best bet is going to be reverse osmosis. Now, reverse osmosis is also going to produce a lot of wastewater, and so what you're going to want to do before you discard that wastewater, you're going to want to treat it somehow. And really the best way to treat, hey Greg, welcome back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm back.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties there. Now we're briefly touching on water treatment, Greg, so I'm gonna keep going here.
I will try to share that link you're talking from at this point.
Yeah, okay, fantastic.
Everything rebooted. My computer's completely shut off.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
It shut off. Hang on.
Powers that be don't like you, Greg. I know that for sure.
Don't want to tell us how to save them. Hey, we bring solutions. Like most other channels just say run the hide, stick your head in the sand, and buy beans and rice. Well, buy beans and rice, guys. But hey, we got more to do than that. We talk solutions here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
I'll find that link. I'll share it.
Okay, I'll continue with the water treatment methods.
Go ahead and keep talking. There's the file.
Okay, so now regarding water treatment, like I said, really your best bet is going to be reverse osmosis. However, reverse osmosis will produce a toxic wastewater, and you really don't want to be putting that stuff back out in the environment before treating it. One of the ways you can treat it before you get rid of it is with UV radiation. You're going to want to have some kind of like catalyst to help break down the chlorine molecules. So what you're going to want to do is get some ferrous oxide, iron oxide, Fe2 or Fe3, and mix it in with the wastewater, and then put it under a UV lamp. Okay, and then you'll want to put it under there for at least 48, maybe 72 hours. And that will help to break down some of the dioxins that are inside the wastewater that you filtered with the reverse osmosis. And then you could put it down the drain. But I wouldn't prefer to put it down the drain. I would actually recommend that you get some kind of like a trough and dump your wastewater in the trough and let it sit outside under solar radiation to continue breaking down the dioxins, and then the water will evaporate, and eventually it'll get reduced down to mostly harmless byproducts. Some of the dioxin will still be in there. It's not gonna be 100% reduced, but it is a prepper's way of dealing with it. These are expedient methods to deal with this kind of problem. This is not like 100% you're going to get rid of everything, but you're going to do much better off with these methods than if you just don't do anything at all. So another way for you to filter your water is going to be with activated carbon. Now, activated carbon is not going to get everything out. It's going to drastically reduce the amount of dioxin that's in your water, but it's not going to get everything out. So really, you're going to want to UV radiate your water. You'll want to get some kind of UV lamp and keep that on your water, whatever kind of bucket you have, or whether it's a fish tank or whatever. Get some kind of a submersible UV light, and keep that in your water for several days before and after you filter it, before you drink the water. Now, you also have to keep in mind that distillation does not work. These chemicals, a lot of these chemicals are volatile. That being said, when you boil the chemical or boil the water that has it in there, it will go up into the steam. So if you're putting it through a distillation device, it will literally just recondense into the container that you are collecting the distillate in. So unless you have an activated carbon filter at the end of your distillation device, you're not going to really be doing anything. Ceramic water filters don't work so for this purpose, so they're really not advised. And yeah, so those are your basic water treatment methods. Reverse osmosis is the best. UV radiation and activated carbon. Those are the best. Now we're going to briefly touch on food treatment. Now, high fatty foods are more susceptible to contamination with dioxin. So you're going to want to be really cautious with things like pork and fish, peanuts, things that have a higher amount of fats in them. You really want to try to stay away from those foods especially if they came from an area that has been contaminated with dioxins. But there are some ways that you can treat your foods. And going back to the beginning of the video, if you remember, I talked about the solvents that can be used to dissolve these chemicals, primarily ethanol and vegetable oils like sunflower oil and olive oil. These really are our two best bets when dealing with this because they're easily accessible and they're relatively affordable. Now, when I say ethanol, I'm talking about high proof stuff like 95% ethanol, like we're talking about like Everclear, okay? And then, olive oil or sunflower oil, just, organic, best quality stuff you can get. Now, what you can do is you can chop up your food really thin, or you can mush it up, or you can put it in a blender, blend it up. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to submerge that food into either ethanol or the oil. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull out the dioxins that are embedded into the food, okay? And they're going to dissolve in that in the ethanol or in the oil. And then you're going to want to separate the food from that solvent. So what you could do is you could then submerge everything in like distilled water. And if you're using oil, which is what I would prefer actually, the oil will separate from the water, okay, and it'll rise to the top. And then you can take a syringe and you can get the oil off the surface of the water and then treat the oil and reuse it if you want. Now, what you can do, one of the ways you can treat the oil so that you can reuse it, and we're talking about like SHTF events, right? If you can avoid these foods, avoid them. If you can avoid using the water, avoid it. But if you cannot, that is what this information is for, okay? This is SHTF. There's no way around it. You've got to deal with the food. You've got to deal with the water. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Now, let's say you've got this oil now that you've used to treat your food. What you can do with that oil is filter it through activated carbon. Now, the activated carbon will then absorb the dioxin that's absorbed in the oil, and you can reuse that oil. You can't reuse it indefinitely, but you can reuse it a few more times. Now, in regards to the ethanol, you can also filter the ethanol, or let's say it's Everclear, or vodka, some kind of vodka. You can filter that, and if you have a distillation device and your ethanol is degrading in its alcoholic content, you can redistill that alcohol to reuse it in treating your food. Now, we'll briefly touch those really are the only two methods that that I would advise. Oh, and before you filter it, you can degrade the dioxins inside of the ethanol and inside of the oil with UV radiation. But that will degrade your oil. So yeah, it'll degrade your oil. So you might be better off just filtering your oil with the activated carbon instead of using the UV lamp or UV light. Now we'll briefly touch on soil treatment. Now, really, as far as soil treatment is concerned, most of the methods are extremely expensive and very labor intensive. So the things I'm going to cover here are really expedient methods for you to use on a large scale to decrease the level of dioxins significantly in your topsoil, but not entirely. If you use these methods properly, we're talking about anywhere from like 65 to 75% degradation of the dioxins in your soil. Now, what you've got to understand with the dioxin is that once it gets in your topsoil, it tends to bind to the organic matter in the soil, and so it's pretty difficult to separate the dioxin from the soil, and that's where soil washing really comes in, and you have to use the solvents that I've mentioned before, and really the two that are going to be readily available to civilians is going to be ethanol and oil, vegetable oils. So like I said previously, sunflower oil and olive oil have been shown in the past to help dissolve the dioxins from the soil. And what it does is in the top really 6 to 9 millimeters of soil, when like let's say you till the soil, okay, and then you spray it with, you saturate the soil with ethanol or with olive oil. What will happen is that olive oil will bring the dioxin to the surface and allow the solar radiation, the UV radiation from the sun, to degrade the dioxins. Okay, it will break down.
Hey, let me ask you. So ultraviolet degrades dioxins. How quickly?
Now, ultraviolet radiation, like let's say you pull up the topsoil, you put it on a tarp. We're only talking about an inch here. Barely, less than an inch. If you use UV lamps, it'll take about a week. All right, but this is if you submerge the soil in ethanol or vegetable oil, because really those two are kind of like catalysts to help kick off the process of the degradation. And so when you put them under a UV lamp, like let's say you lay it all out on a tarp inside of a building full of these UV lamps, or you put UV lamps all over top of the tarp, it'll take about a week to treat the soil that way. But if you just use solar radiation, if you just use the sun, it'll take about a month for half of it to break down, and about 2 months for like 80% of it to break down. So really, you're going to want to keep it out there for 2 months. And if you have it outside and it gets rained on, then you're out of luck, because the dioxins are going to go further down. So really, like I said, it's really labor intensive, but that doesn't mean it's impossible for you to make a significant impact. Okay, so that's why I'm bringing this information to you, because you could make a significant impact if you implement these these methods immediately before it rains and before the dioxins go further and further down in your soil. That being said, the first thing obviously you're going to want to do is get your soil tested. The only lab that I really know of that I can even mention is PACE Labs, PACE Labs, PACE Labs. Get your soil tested. If no problem with it, then great. If there is a problem, then if you don't have the money to have professionals do it, but you've got the tractors, and bulldozers to take up the topsoil, at the very least, till it and spray the oil on it, spray the ethanol on it, and let the sun work it out. But if you want to go more in depth, then take the topsoil off entirely, and put it somewhere underneath the lamps on either on the surface or on a tarp or whatever. But you want to, if you're going to do it, if you're going to take the topsoil off and bring it somewhere, you want to wash it several times with the ethanol, and you can reuse the ethanol. Get pure ethanol as pure as you can get it, and then keep using it until it degrades to about 70%. It'll continue to be effective until it gets to about 70%. And then what you can do is you can filter the ethanol with activated carbon if you've got that kind of money, and then you can redistill it if you're able to put it through a still, redistill it, and then use it again. Then treat the soil that has been washed, treat it with UV radiation. Now there's other methods that you can do that most people would be well suited for. People that have farmland and cropland and stuff like that. There were two crops that were promising, that showed that the roots will extract dioxins and PCBs from the soil, and that's sunflower and corn. But that being said, you're going to have dioxins and PCBs inside of that plant matter. So when you harvest those crops, you're going to have to figure out what to do with them, because you've got toxic waste. So
more than that, you got to figure out how to handle them. You don't have to handle those with your bare hands. You better wear gloves and protective equipment just to handle those worms, because I'm not worms. Well, worms on the brain. I sell worms, everybody, greengrapes.com. But anyway, how to handle those sunflower plants or corn plants or whatever, anything that's decontaminating or containing dioxide, it is so toxic that you don't even want to touch anything that's got in it.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about, it has hit the proverbial fan, so to speak. These are things that you can do in an emergency when no one else is around to come to the rescue, and there's no other option, basically. It has hit the fan. This is what you can do. These are the easy, we'll just say, expedient methods to kind of deal with the problem. Now there's a fungus called white rot fungus that has been shown to degrade these substances much quicker than just its typical degradation cycle. So white rot fungus is the name of the fungus. So if you can learn how to use that and remediate your soil with that, then it's another option. But like I said, sunflowers, corn, the roots will go deeper than the sun, right? So let's say you treat the topsoil by soil washing, and then you go ahead and plant the corn or the sunflower. You'll have like a double effect there. You'll be hitting it multiple ways. You'll be cleaning the topsoil with UV radiation, then you'll be extracting any of the dioxins that went deeper down. You'll be extracting them with the corn, with the roots from the corn and from the sunflower. So those are really the most expedient, cost effective, and I really want to say simplistic methods for the the average prepper to deal with this kind of situation. That being said, that's not everything there is to know about this subject. This subject is very broad. Okay, there's a lot that you can learn about this. But you know what I tried to do with this presentation really is to consolidate as much information as I could in a short amount of time and really get to the meat and potatoes about what can you do? What can the average person do to respond to an event like this if no one was coming to help? And this is what I came up with after, you know, taking a look at this situation for the last 3-4 years. So there you go, guys.
This is scary. I mean, when you look at it, distillation will not work. You know, activated carbon might work. Oh my God, ceramic filters will not work.
Right.
Reverse osmosis is your best bet, but you got toxic water as a
waste byproduct.
So there's no easy solutions here, guys. This stuff is bad. There's no ifs and ands and buts about it. This is not just bad. It's real bad. Who the heck thought it was a good idea to just open this stuff up and burn it? Oh, we were afraid some cars might explode. Well, from what I've heard from other fire experts, all they had to do is keep pouring water on it, keep them cool. But they didn't do that. They decided to dig a trench and just pour this stuff in and set it on fire, exposing the entire Northeast and now everything downriver from the Ohio River. So I think everybody that's involved in that needs to be held accountable legally. I mean, not the companies, the individuals.
Absolutely.
Decision makers. There needs to be, you know, the people need not be hiding behind some corporate veil this time. They need to go after people, the owner of the railroad, the people, the governor of Ohio. And it's not just the people. Let me stop the share here for a minute. It's not just the people there in that town. That town, listen, I'm going to show you in a minute. This how serious this is. There has been a town that was evacuated because of dioxin poison. Times Beach, Missouri was evacuated. It's a ghost town today because somebody thought it'd be a good idea to spray the dirt roads in the town with the oil that has a little bit of dioxin in it. And it was bad. They even went in and spent $100 million or something scraping up all the soil, and it's still evacuated. It wasn't good enough. And their contamination level can't be what they're seeing in East Palestine, Ohio, or even the surrounding areas for miles. And I'm hearing this stuff that, you know, you saw those big black clouds rising up. You know, that stuff was falling out, like literally like nuclear fallout. It was dripping out black stuff. And there was pictures, videos. Now, I don't know if it's real or not, but I've heard of acid rain, but I never heard of doing this. There's pictures of rain falling or something sizzling. Is that real? I don't know, guys, but that's really weird. That is strange. Acid rain, you might think might make a little splotch on something, but sizzling? That's nuts. That's like extremely acidic, if that's what it was. That's like super acidic. It's hard to even believe. I mean, that means it wasn't water at all. It was just pure acid. It would take, you know, if it was diluted in water, you wouldn't get it that way. Because water is normally kind of neutral. You know, it might be a little acidic, but that was just crazy. So I'm going to show y'all a couple other links on here, guys. But let's see, Wiseau says, now that fire chief says it wasn't sure who he spoke to, who told him it was okay to light it up. Yeah. Now they're all playing chicken. Guys, this is serious. This is very serious. And here's the thing. Even if this was entirely an accident, they claim, well, we had a bad sensor. It didn't see the bearings getting hot. I am an avionics system safety engineer on a NASA rocket. My rocket, if it crashes in New York City, right now downtown Times Square, wouldn't hurt as many people as big as that rocket was. It'd go off like a small atom bomb if it's full of fuel, but it wouldn't hurt as many people as this Dioxin event's going to. And I'm going to tell you what, we pay a lot of attention to redundancy. We pay a lot of attention to system safety. Maybe not as much as I'd like to see, because there's been some decisions that I don't like, but management does make their own decisions. But now get this, guys. A critical system, critical system, a safety critical system, excuse me. A safety critical system should have redundancy. There is no way there shouldn't have been more than one sensor out there. There should have been backup sensors, maybe even alternative means that was dissimilar is the best way to have redundancy. You should have more than one way to measure the temperature on those wheel bearings. These trains carry so much toxic stuff. They carry them through our cities, our farms, all kind of places where millions of people live and work every day. This is, and trains do derail. This ain't, we just had 3 derailments. Trains have always derailed, but it's kind of odd some of this stuff is. But guys, there is no excuse in God's green earth not to have redundancy on safety critical systems. There should always be redundancy on safety critical systems without any question. And there should even be separation of redundant systems. So if one goes down, it can't take out the other. Now, that clearly was not the case. It clearly was a there. Hey, Fairies, Venus, thank you. Had a couple good super chats tonight. There is no way on God's green earth that there is any excuse for not having that. And not having that is costing potentially a lot of lives down the road, and cancer and God knows what. It's causing a lot of health issues right now. This is contaminated soil. I mean, I got to ask, we talk about eating, from the farms. How do you know when you go to the store and buy something that wasn't grown up there and it's on your grocery store shelf now being sold to you as a product? I'm gonna tell you what, guys, if you're not growing your own food, you got an issue. If you're not growing your own food, God help you now. Now is the time to start growing. Get your garden, get it set up, and you got to consider it's about to hit the fan. Don't count on the idea that you're gonna be able to go to the store 6 months from now and buy anything. There may not be no stores. We may have an EMP event because it is in the doctrine of several countries to take out our power grid if they should go to war with us. And who are we looking to go to war with? We're looking at potentially Russia. We're looking at Iran. It is in Iran's doctrine to do just that, and they've even said so.
And they have cells here.
Yeah, and what's going on right now? Could some of these be active? Is this possible? I don't think they got access to Oak Ridge, though.
Well, you know where the train, where that train originated from is the headquarters of the North American Shiite organization in Illinois.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that the train originated from Illinois. I actually reached out to the.
We gotta be careful what we're sounding. You can't talk on this platform. You gotta remember, we're on YouTube. We can't talk. We can't tell the truth here. We got on this darn platform. If you got the facts in front of you, you can't even quote Joe Biden saying what Joe Biden said. They'll tell you it's fake.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, it's fake. He didn't say it. Well, you got him on recording. Yeah, he said that. No.
I mean, ever since Iran swore to retaliate against us for taking out Soleimani, a lot of potential sabotage events have occurred. I just want to point that out.
We are on the verge of war with Iran. I mean, Israel is practicing for us. We've been practicing with them, but they're saying that the uranium is 86%.
Yeah, it's like 84% already. But they've taken out 2 of our CRAMs in Syria in the last month. They attacked our CRAMs. The Iranian militants in Iraq and Syria attacked some of our convoys, ended up taking out 2 of our counter rocket and mortar systems. They've attacked Deir ez-Zor. They've attacked the Conoco base. They've attacked the Al-Tamp checkpoint with their Shahed suicide drones. And just 3 or 4 days ago, they attacked an oil tanker in the Arabian Sea that was connected with Israel with one of those Shahed drones. So those Shahed drones have a range of about 2,000 kilometers. And now that Iran is operating off of the coast of Venezuela, see, Iran signed economic agreements with Venezuela not too long ago. Venezuela is having Iran rebuild their refineries on land and build new rigs off the coast and operate those rigs. That being said, Iran is literally going to be on our doorstep. Now, then the coast of Venezuela.
They just sent a warship through the Panama Canal. Iran.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That being said, though, the coast of Venezuela is about 2,000 kilometers from New York City, and it's less than 2,000 kilometers from all the major cities. Well, if you go off into the ocean a little bit, they could easily hit all 3 of the major cities in Texas with their Shahed drones. It's a very capable kamikaze drone that the Russians have displayed the effectiveness of in Ukraine. So That being said, guys, I mean, our enemies literally not just on our doorstep, but in our house. They admitted that they have several terrorist networks and cells inside of the United States. And one of the places that they would definitely flock to is the headquarters of the Shiite mosque in North America, Illinois, right? That's just a fact. The Iranian regime is a theocracy.
Let's don't mention religion on here.
I know. I'm not. Nothing. That's nothing. Nothing.
We got to get it out there. Where to stay out there, they'll take this video off. They may even shut my channel down. It's that bad. It's that bad.
Sorry about that.
I did not put a video on this channel. I put it on Silverhead News, and I didn't really go that far. And technically, by the letter of the law, I was totally compliant with all the rules of YouTube's terms, and they demonetized it. And I got another video on there, which it was nothing. It was a video that got monetized on 2 of my other channels that they demonetized, and they're supposed to ask them for review. Their guarantee is to review it within 7 days. It's been 10 days. It's still not reviewed. So they're
my apologies.
They do stuff. So let's be careful what we say here. I mean, we may know something, but we got to talk code. But we got to take it on Rumble. We can go on Rumble. We can say anything on God's green earth on Rumble. And we may have to do that, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead and hit that super chat, guys.
This platform, hey, we got another. This platform is not freedom of speech by a long shot. So the key thing, guys, is this. There's good people of every religion. I'm not picking on religion here, but
absolutely.
But there's also groups that they organize according to such predispositions. So whatever that means, guys, here's the key. The head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard was told several years ago, that's like 10 years ago now, maybe 12. He was told that, hey, there's 9 substations, American critical substations. If you take them out, it will take down the entire U.S. power grid. And his reply is, 9? I got sleeper cells that's already targeted 20 of them. And that ain't the only thing that got targeted. But we don't know who this is or what's going on right now. But here's what's odd. Look what's happening in Ohio. I want to make this a totally different video. But just look, guys, what's happened in Ohio alone in the last few days. They had 2 factories hit. 2 factories.
And Colonial Pipeline burst open in Virginia. Keystone XL Pipeline burst open in Kansas. You had the other pipeline.
When the heck's that happened?
That happened last month.
No, I mean, aside from this, I mean,
when is the exact
wasn't open? Yeah. I mean, and then we had there was a huge explosion in Florida just yesterday and today. Now, this is why I really wonder who's behind this stuff. What happened today? Yeah. Today, inside Oak Ridge, there is a nuclear uranium fire. Now, maybe coincidental. I never heard of it. I never heard of that happening there ever.
A lot of coincidences happening all at the same time.
Okay, now you got to be vetted to be in there. You can't anybody can't walk in there. You got to have a clearance, security clearance to be in there. You're highly vetted and highly watched. Is that accident? Is that a coincidence? Or is there some inside thing going on? Or is there maybe our vetting process? I don't know what the answer is, guys, but it ain't looking pretty. It ain't pretty. Whatever the case is, it's not pretty. So what the takeaway, guys, is this. This may be the new normal, and it may get worse. What I told you guys from what I've been telling you guys all along is, there's a certain House of Klaus, if you know what I'm talking about, who's got a plan. They call it the set, which is not so or so great in my opinion, but that you don't get between here and there without totally destroying our society, because their motto is you own nothing, not even the underwear you wear. Nothing. I mean, they mean absolutely nothing. You will rent everything. Of course, you'll have to have social credit to rent it. You'll have to be approved. Use central bank digital currency to do it with. If you're allowed to use it, if you're a good little boy and little girl by their opinion, you might be able to rent a pair of underwear to wear. Maybe. It's how do you get between where we're at, where we got property, we got rights in there, and do it by 2030? It's less than 7 years now, guys. It's now less than 7 years. How do you get from there to there? I'm just talking what they put on their website, their video is what it said, what their people wrote. And I'm not making this up. And I might get hit for this because you can't quote Joe Biden now either. So I'm on dangerous thin ice here, guys. I'm on thin ice in an earthquake with meteorites hitting lake all around me, lake ice.
Every time I'm on your live stream, Greg.
In trouble. Trouble. But anyway, so guys, yeah, this is probably a rumble topic, but I come out here because we want to teach people that there's decontamination. I'm trying to bring solutions. There's things you can do to take care of yourself, but you got to, maybe the best thing to do is just get the heck out of there. I got to show you this.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know, that's also part of their agenda. They want everybody into the cities. You know, they want to take your farmland from you.
Bingo. So what that's diverse you from your property.
That's why we're bringing you these solutions. You know, so you don't, you know, if you don't have to leave, you've got a way to deal with the problem on your own. But I don't know if you want to go to questions or.
Let's hang on real quick. Let's do this. I want to show a couple of pieces here for everybody, and we'll go to questions. Let me come back here again. Here's the guide that Doug shared with us. I will try to put this in the show notes later. Let me see. Give me a minute. I will try to find our screen and put it in here. I'm not so good at doing this. But the one that's really good with doing links is New Days. She's really good with links. Game is a game. Well, we're beyond games. This is like warfare. All right. Here is Times Beach, Missouri. This town is no more. No more. Founded in 1925. So what happened is this guy sprayed dioxin on the roads around there, just on the roads.
Trying to suppress the dust.
Right. Well, dioxin was, you know, it's part of Agent Orange.
Yeah.
The military denied all those sick servicemen. Oh, they're not sick. It didn't cause anything for years. People had all kind of cancers and were ate up.
Wasn't Hoffman Taff in that town? That was one of the companies that produced it for DOD. Hoffman Taff, I think.
Oh, in this town? I don't know.
Yeah. Times Beach. Yeah, one of the companies that manufactured it for the military was in that town, I think. Oh, and then they gave it to a guy, I think his name was Bliss, and he sprayed it on. I think he had like a horse track. He had a
something somewhere. I've read it. It's all on here somewhere. This guy who spread it around.
But a bunch of kids got sick. They got chloracne and horses were dying from it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It caused cancer. And all
yeah, Russell Bliss. There it is. Yeah, waste oil hauler Russell Bliss. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Children and animals got ill. Yeah. There it is. Site spray by Bliss, Russell Bliss. Yep, there it is. But, you know, they actually enacted the super fund on this. I think they spent something like, I read somewhere $100 million, and the town is still shut down. I mean, they abandoned this town, people. This town was abandoned. It was just on some been sprayed on roads.
Yeah. How much of that place would have been, you know, in some kid's inheritance, you know? I mean, it's tragic. It's tragic.
Well, your families lost everything. They went and bulldozed the houses down. But when they say when they went there and bulldozed the houses, it was like people left plates on the table. There was Christmas decorations up. It was like everybody just got up and left right where they were at in a lot of those places. It was weird. It was really surreal what the people found when they went there to bulldoze those houses down. I mean, they destroyed everything there. Everything was considered contaminated. But if you hadn't seen earlier, guys, it doesn't take much contamination to be really bad news. See this 1/32 millionth of a gram is your maximum lifetime exposure, allowable exposure. That is so minute that just getting near this stuff, handling it in any shape, form, or fashion. If you've already got a rash from it, you may be overexposed already. There's kids coughing, and people got rashes and burning eyes in East Palestine, Ohio, right now.
Yeah.
Massive dioxin plume could warrant ghost town scenario. They're saying
it's a tragedy.
Need to abandon the town. Wow. I mean, this is what we're talking about, milligrams per kilogram body weight. Wow. I mean, that's way down there, guys, way down there. Milligram is a millionth of a gram. So this is a small little fraction of a millionth of a gram. There's your zero right. There's the zero right here. I mean, that's a decimal point. All these zeros, orders of 10 magnitude of a milligram, which is, nothing. So yeah, and this stuff could take years and years to come. So all you got to do is look what happened at Times Beach, Missouri, guys. So I don't know how East Palestine continues as a town after this. How do the people that burnt this stuff manage to walk free and look in their mirrors every day? And this is what we're facing with our infrastructure right now, guys, right here.
Did anybody ever figure out the source of the vinyl chloride? I was trying to track down the source.
I don't know.
I wanted to reach out to him for a statement, but nobody would get back with me.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and it's not in any of the news articles that I read.
Yeah, they don't want to blow that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so here's these articles, people going around. None of those people need to be there, to be honest. People saying, well, I got nowhere to go. I just work at a gas station, got no money. Well, you may have no life. This is extremely toxic. This is beyond the pale bad. I don't even know what to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, vinyl chloride, most toxic when burned. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that a smart decision? Let's see. Let's make it as toxic as we can make it.
And if you follow or subscribe to Adapt 2030, you see where all of that toxic plume went was Amish and Mennonite country farmland.
This is Dabu
I
7.
didn't mean to start it. Yeah, this was just yesterday or the day before now in Florida. I mean, we just got so much stuff going on. Oh yeah, surge in power grid attacks up 71%. Something is cooking, guys. I know that's a white woman. Holy smoke, there are white people. I'm not white. Look at her. Holy smoke, she's a white woman. I'm definitely not a white man after seeing her. Hey, New Days, thank you so much. 5 coffees for all right. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna show you the Doug's got a. Yeah, look here. Here's our fire and at the nuclear power uranium fire at the WWIII National Security Complex. It's a national security complex. Like I said, you just don't get in. Anybody can't walk in here and cause mayhem. Yeah, it could have been an accident, but holy smoke, guys! If the mayhem is actually being instigated, who's doing it? And that means somebody's got some high level access. Maybe they shouldn't. What in the world's going on there? That's scary. Oops, that's my channel. Oh, there we go. Doug, let's see here. He's got a buy a coffee website here. It's Buy Me a Coffee and Common News 777.
I appreciate that, Greg.
So y'all can help Doug tonight. Doug, you told me what you was going to use this for. You want to tell everybody what you're
yeah. So what I'm trying to save up for is a mass spectrometer, so that I can actually test soil for people that may have contaminated soil. And I do that for a small fee, obviously, but it would be much a much lower cost than they could find anywhere else. So what I'm doing is I'm going on different auctions, going to different auctions, looking for a mass spectrometer so that I can do that kind of thing, and then help people out who may be affected by this kind of situation.
So people, we are in a very, very serious situation here. This dioxin cloud is contaminating a huge swath of the Northeast, a lot of agricultural land. And I assume, I don't know if it's going to Vermont. The cheese is very fatty. You want to buy any more? If y'all want Vermont cheese, you better buy it now and stock up. I don't know if I'd want to use it for a while. How long, since UV kind of clear stuff out, how long do you think it'd be before you could trust agricultural produce, if ever? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think now is the time really to be aware of these kinds of things. And and to know how you can respond to these events. And that's exactly why we're talking about this subject right now. It's exactly why I created that prepper's guide. And I just hope you guys take advantage of the resources that we've put together for you. If you're able to download this video, download the video. If you're not able to download the video, we've got a link for that single page PDF with all the source links that you can refer to on your own. Take the time, read the material, and figure out what's the best way for you to respond to this kind of situation, given your resources, and your, what you deem the threat level to be. So, yep. Thanks for having me, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Doug, I appreciate you doing the research and developing that document, making it available. Guys, I posted that in the notes. I'll try to post it after I get this video finished. I'll go and add show notes. I don't always do it for a live session, but I'll do it tonight. I'll do at least part of it. So, guys, really be serious now. This is going to get worse. There's going to be more stuff like this. Yeah, maybe this is a way they get us off our land. This is a tragedy. It's a tragedy for all the people up there in that area. I urge everyone to pray for those people. If you've got friends and family, you may want to offer them a home, offer them a getaway, offer them a chance to come down and be with you to get out of that area. This is so bad. And I saw WWIII shared our Survival Tribe Network. Appreciate that, WWIII. Let me go and show you a couple things real fast. I'm gonna do a couple more shares here real quick. Guys, like I said, you need to you do need to get your garden. I do have links below to things like True Leaf Market. Get your seeds. It's February. It's time to get seeds anyway, but if you're gonna be growing your own food, this is the time to do it. And if it hits the fan, you're not gonna be buying anything from anywhere right now. Maybe your last good shot at it. I don't know. I hope I'm dead wrong on that, but right now there's too much uncertainty. The world is going nuts, and it's going there in a handbag as fast as it can go. It is just, it's off the rocker, and I think it's going to get a lot worse. It's kind of like, it's like in the building up to a crescendo, and it's getting louder every moment. So it's going to get really bad. And then we're looking at the possibility of WWIII. I mean, we're looking at NATO and Russia entangling here. Maybe it could happen the next day or two. We don't know right now, guys. We just flat don't know what is in front of us. Let me do a share. So,
hey, Greg, one of your audience members asked a question to me.
Yeah, we'll do a Q&A. We'll do a Q&A.
Right.
Joe, thank you, Joe, and New Days. Joe's gave me 2 super chats tonight. So yeah, go ahead and answer any questions. I'm just going to.
Okay, Serenity Kelly, you said that you don't have a still in your home to do any of the stuff with the ethanol. I presume you mean like redistill the ethanol for reuse. If that's the case, you can just get a kettle, like a simple kettle, and maybe some copper pipe, and you can make your own still, just with an old school, a traditional kettle. There's many videos on YouTube to teach you how to do that. I would advise that you learn how to do that. But like I said previously, distilling water is not going to help you filter your water because a lot of those chemicals are volatile. They'll just go right back into the container that you catch the distillate in. But if you're talking about distilling the ethanol to bring it back up to a high proof, then yeah, you could just go with a traditional style kettle and rig something up that way.
Yeah, I may have to have Jason from Green Country Agroforestry. He's actually had a video out tonight where he's talking about bioremediation. So he's a brilliant guy. So let me show a couple things, and we'll come back and see if we get any last question. These sellers, they are working way to you. Oh Lord. All right, hang on, guys. So if you get a garden, to make just so you don't have to go to the store to buy fertilizer, you won't be able to do that. There's no stores. Worms make the best. The worm casting is the best fertilizer you can use. So I would highly encourage you to get worms, get them while you can. If you come to greengregs.com, just click the buy worms button and scroll down. If you don't want to hit these buttons, you can always send a check or money order. And that's how much for when. Anyway, there's that. Let's see, let's go to something else. Well, where is the, and we got our Survival Tribe Network. WWIII spent a lot of money out of her pocket to develop this. Why is this not loading? She shared a link a few times in here. Yeah. It's not on the load for some reason. Yeah, well, the interweb is conspiring against me tonight, including my computer rebooting, right? Fortunately, you were up and stayed in the room. I don't, what is going on? How come this ain't loading at all? There we go. Guys, here we go. If y'all not enjoying this, I highly encourage it. Use a, you have to use your real name, come up with some stage name like WWIII. That's really and truly not her actual name, folks.
You got me. I never would have known.
I'm not going to cross a WWIII and reveal anything, not me. So check it out. But hey, I'm a public guy. I might as well just tell you who you are. If you come to get me and bug me because I'm a prepper, that's good for me because I got to feed my worms that are hungry. And then, guys, we got our Freedom Restoration Foundation site. I got to get somebody else to update our website. We got to take these old alerts off. The guy who's doing it passed away, unfortunately. Might get you to do it, Doug, but we got to update this thing. But we got a new alert we need to put out, and I got to go back and work in my hazard analysis. I got to work my day job stuff tonight, guys. And then I got a white paper I got to get back on too. I'm just piled up. I got too much stuff on me. But this, guys, there is a World Health Treaty Organization thing going on. I don't want to say too much because my video got demonetized and it may kill my new Soilhead News channel, just posting that stuff. But go check out the video there, or go check it out on Rumble. Just real quick, I'll show you my other channels. Product Papas. I don't do a lot of videos here. I've got a lot of stuff I just haven't posted. I'll do maybe. Time is a key thing. I will if I go to the flea market, go over there. Hey, if all this gets you on the nerve, come here and listen to rain on my barn roof, tin roof, or listen to my frogs. It might calm you down a little bit. I don't know what that was. That's my, yeah. What happened there? How come that's not on this channel? Oh, because I rebooted. That's the problem. Yeah, this is Swivelhead News. And this is the video y'all need to watch right here. Come in here and watch this video, guys. It's urgent. I can't say too much here. I guess it's a very popular video over here, but it's demonetized. Or maybe come here and watch it here because if that network gets shut down, this one will stay up. So I can cover topics here and then get so many views here. I don't know why I didn't get as many over here, but look at this, guys. I cover stuff over here. There's no way I would put this on this platform. Stuff, yeah. There's stuff I've said here that I can't say on this platform. There's some topics. Yeah, that one. We name names here. Yeah, that one cannot go on here at all, guys. So yeah, there's some videos I put on all my channels and share, but some is special for this. So there you are, guys. Go check it out. Yeah, we still got specials here too. But anyway, check all that Prep Greg. Guys, really and truly, this might be your last chance to get stuff. I don't know. You need to really think about it. Might be the last shot, last hurrah. I do not know. Things are really coming fast and furious with Russia, China, Iran. Guys, if we get into it with Iran, I've always heard they had 2 nukes from Kazakhstan. I've had somebody say they thought they actually got more than that out of Kazakhstan. They might decide to EMP us. If you can go up and down the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea like they're doing and launch a balloon, you can get us. You can get us from a balloon. And I've done that. I've shared that in another video, and I will come back with that topic. So, guys, yeah, and they got rockets in Iran. Iran sells rockets to Venezuela. Big rockets. Iran builds and sells rockets to Venezuela. Iran has launched a satellite into space that takes a really big rocket. So Iran is not somebody to take lightly. If we get into it with them, it's going to be a major ouch. How in the world are we going to fight Iran, Russia, and China? China's loving this engagement with Russia because we're just depleting our ammo. So a couple of years from now, a year or two from now, when they decide 24, yeah, probably in 2024 around election time to make a move, you know, how are we going to be able to deal with them? They're going to laugh at us. So minus 18 degrees. Wow, Maryland, where are you at, Maryland? It is hot here. We had 80 degrees. This is 70 right now. All righty, guys. My mic come back on later tonight. I've got to do a little work first. I'm still trying to wrap up some stuff, guys. We have a blizzard conditions. Wow. It's really cold up north and it's hot here in the south. It's really crazy in the country right now. And it reflects all the other craziness going on, people. So I first implore everyone to get right with your maker, to get right with your family. If there's family people you got a division with, if you got a bone that's still hanging out there, get it solved, make amends. If you got a friend that you've left ill will with, get back to them, make amends. We don't know what's coming, guys, but I tell you what, it's the crescendo is picking up. It's picking up, and I expect that to continue until it gets crazy. And when you think it's got full-blown crazy and can't get any worse, I think that's just when it's getting started. We're talking about civil war. We're talking about riots. We're talking about world war. We're talking about sleeper cells in America. We got a militarized set of drug cartels at our southern border. Ain't nothing to stop them from rolling their army in here. They got an army. Those guys have armies, and they're very. Did Doug see my question? Okay, Stray Kitten, what'd you ask?
Go ahead and ask again.
Yeah, ask again, Stray Kitten. All right, any questions? Let's do this. Let's do the Q&A time. We're done. Birth pain says, I mean, it's birth pains for something. Let's hope it's not the NWO House of Klaus. Let's hope it's not better. Joe, let's see what else. Come on, guys. Stray Kitten, you had a question? Ask again. All right, come on. We're looking for questions now. Anybody got a question? Now ask. Ask now. It's hard to scroll back and catch everything. Ask your questions. You might see them before I do. I got a delay over here for some reason. Mods delete comments before I ever see them. So what did they say? I mean, they'll come up on the screen already deleted. So so I got quite a delay over here.
Seychelles advanced radiation bottle. I honestly don't have an answer for you, Stray Kitten. Let me take a look at it real quick. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah, it wasn't good. They left all that stuff in Afghanistan. Oh yeah, we got Lee in the house. Lee Wheelbarger. Russian nuclear forces are now on alert. Russian nuclear forces are now on alert. Are we on alert? Do we go to any higher level? I bet I could drive a dadgum deuce and a half with a Chinese Communist flag on it right in the Redstone Arsenal. They'll probably just wave me in as long as I show them a badge. You know, guys, I don't know. The Arsenal is very laid back right now, which blows my mind. Military base right down here south of me. Neil called Greg, call Lee right now. Okay, well, Lee's in here. He's in the chat. Lee's right here.
Yes, the Seychelles advanced radiation water bottle does claim to filter out PCBs, polychlorinated biphenols. So yes, it should work, especially if it's rated to do such a thing. And yeah, it says glyphosate as well. So yeah, so I
see some independent tests in some of these claims. Some of these filters make huge claims that the testing don't seem to bear out when somebody independent does all this testing. Also, by the way, you know what, we got the fox watching the hen house. We got the railroad company and their minions doing the testing around East Palestine. Yeah, we need independent lab tests, not even government. Let me see if I can find Lee's number here. I guess Lee is wanting me to call him. He's in the chat room right now. I'm going live, Greg. Okay, Lee, you want me to join you? What's happening here? Let me find your number here.
Well, if that's the case, Greg, I really appreciate you having me on your show tonight.
I might start another. Yep. Lee, I got what to do. Let's see here. Lee, you want me to join you? Let me see. I got to find his number. Guys, look, hey, I want to thank everybody for being here. what this is all about is getting ready. It's about being prepared. It's about taking care of you and yours. We come here with solutions. Most people just come here crying about all the problems and telling you to run hide and put your head in the sand and get your beans and rice when you're on the way. We're trying to be more proactive. That's why we started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. That's why we started the Survival Tribe Network. That's why I fight to get the power grid hardened in half for years. And I'll never on YouTube make back the money and I put, and I don't make enough to pay my power bill to pay off the last conference we lost our rear ends on with that. So we're trying to make this a better world. And Wise Owl spent a fortune getting that website put up that she put up. So guys, we're trying to make it a better world. We're trying. Doug's doing research here. Doug's a good guy. He's got some solid research. So guys, thank y'all for watching. We're going to end this video now, and just go back and check these links. Doug, thank you, sir. We'll have to have you back.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg.
All right, you take care. And with that, I'm going to say,